Hey Ravens fans, I'm Garrett Downing. This is Ryan Minkin. It's time for this week's edition of the Flock Mailbag. The first preseason game is in the books, and that means our Facebook wall was blowing up with questions. So let's get right to it, Ryan. First question really isn't much of a question, actually, from Daniel Abbott. He says, I can see the play calling has not changed.
Wow. Already? I mean, really, we're going to start critiquing the play calling in the preseason? I mean, seriously. I mean, first of all, it has changed. I don't know if you didn't notice, but we were running no huddle from the get-go on offense, which is a change. You know, also trying to hit a lot of those quick passes. It was a lot faster moving offense. So a lot has changed. And secondly, it's the preseason. So they're not going to bring everything out of the playbook. It's really a very trimmed down play calling sheet. So don't start critiquing the play calling already. I'm begging you.
Well, the other thing, too, is that at this point, you're just trying to implement systems. So there's guys that are still learning the offense, and especially those second and third teamers, they're just learning it for the first time, and you're just trying to see how they play. You're not trying to go out there and change what you do first preseason game. It's more about implementing your system. All right, next question. Donna asks, what plans are in development to shore up the offensive line?
Right, well, I think that there doesn't have to be that many additions or subtractions. The guys are already on the roster. Really, the biggest thing is Matt Burke isn't playing right now. You know, he's got a little back injury. Not a big deal, because he didn't play at all last preseason. And Bryant McKinney is just kind of finding his legs. Right. He hadn't practiced in full team drills. He'd only done it once leading up to the game. So once he has a little bit more time in practice, then I expect him to be at left tackle. And really, the only difference on the offensive line would be Bobby Williams at left guard.
Right, and there were obviously points in the game the other night where they struggled. You know,
right.
They struggled early on in the game, but I think that part of the issue is that you've got young guys in there who may be not playing there once the actual season starts.
Exactly.
Gino Grakowski was starting at center. Matt Burke, like you said, would move into that role. Kelechi Osemele was on the right side at right tackle. Will he be there at right tackle when the regular season rolls around? I'm not exactly sure, but those pieces, those are younger guys who may not be in that role once the season rolls around. All right, third question. James is asking, what year in the future will people finally stop overreacting to the first preseason game?
Never. Probably will never happen. But, you know, I understand, you know, you saw the first team go out there, and they got off to a really slow start, both offensively, defensively, special teams. I mean, I think we could all tell by John Harbaugh's, you know, halftime comments and just the look on his face. Nobody was happy about it, but it's the first preseason game. And you know, the first team offense did have a really nice touchdown drive there. Things kind of came together. I wouldn't overreact too much.
Yeah, it's the preseason. First game, settle down, exhale a little bit, because there's still a lot of football to be played. Still 3 more preseason games before we get to that Monday night opener here at M&T Bank Stadium. All right, so that's it for this week's edition of Mailbag. But keep the questions coming throughout training camp, and keep it locked right here on BaltimoreRavens.com.